Uh, well, I don't have the floors and the concrete foundations, but I will continue. Well, those beams, I copied them, but now you have to make them. And now, yeah, there's another truss. If we select level one, uh, this is a wall. There are columns. Okay, so you have inserted the columns here, but this is a solid wall. And the second truss, so there's a truss here. And for me, this is grid seven. Okay, so you have letters here. I have numbers, but anyway. And then there's another truss on this grid line. So I'm going to copy what copy the truss here, and I'm going to move it to so let's start here. We have the two trusses, and what's next in the other elevation? Yeah, this wall that we have here, this wall. So here we have the truss, and we have this is not a wall; it's like a screen, and we have wooden straps. This okay. So you see that it's not a solid wall. It's um, it's something interesting because okay, so if this is a terrace, this is not an indoor space because it's open and it's just for the summer to have like a nice shaded area, and that's why we don't have a solid wall here. We just have this element. Hide the view because it's gonna be confusing. Okay, so that screen is here. Okay, so I'm going to use the massing and site. I'm going to use in place mass, and I'm going to create a shape like this. Okay, so I'm going to start with lines. I can set the level, I can set the work plane on level one. Okay, I'm going to do it level one, but and then I can change it. And that wall is something like this. So imagine that I'm creating like a 1 foot element, and then I go 6 inches. I'm making up the dimensions. It's something that goes well and it's easy to remember. So we go 1 foot and 6 inches. So I'm creating like this shape here, 1 foot and 6 inches and 1 foot. You can go all the way, but you can always select this, and we can copy. Okay, I have to go up to this grid 14 so I can delete all that stuff. Okay, so this is where this element is. We have that screen. It's not a solid wall, so that's why I'm creating that shape, because I'm going to create something solid here, something solid there, and there will be a void here. Then we will have a structure to connect this part and this part, but I will do it later. So that's the basic shape. On the video, I do something, I think it's more complicated than this. And what shall I do now? So this is the 3D view, and that's the shape that makes the mass. So what I have to do now is to select all these, and if I'm in massing, I have this option, create form. I'm going to create a solid form. If I do that, come on, there you go. Okay, so I have created a mass with this shape. I can finish, and uh, the mass, it's just like a guideline. Okay, so then I won't delete it, because if I delete it, I think I will delete all the elements that are associated with the mass, probably. So I will hide it. But what do I want to do now? So I want to use the mass as a guideline to generate this wall that is not solid. Okay, it's not solid, but it's not like I have one. If we zoom in, it's not the best picture, and I don't think we have a. No, we don't have a picture of that. Anyway, you have to believe me, because I know that there is like there are like two different lines of straps here. So that's what I'm doing. I'll show you and you will understand. Okay, so now in architecture, I have to create a wall that is just something made of wood. I can edit type here. I can duplicate. I can name it wood strap. uh, Well, wood. And then if I edit this, it's something very thin. It can be like half inch, and the material is wood. Let's do, this is oak flooring. Okay, so let's use this softwood lumber. I don't like this texture, but it's made of wood. So it's something very thin. It's just half inch. And now I have created this wall here, this wood strap. And now if I select the massing inside, here I have this option, wall by face. So if I select wall by face, I can create uh, walls. If I select a face like this, well, okay, you see that I have created a solid element. So I have this guideline, and just by selecting the face, I turn this into a solid element. If I can do crazy things. Okay, so you can have this exterior wall. If I select this one, I have created this, but in this case doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I can use this with any wall. Now, if I select this wall, I can change. Okay, I can select the wood strap, and now in massing inside, I can create walls and select the wall. Okay, and I can do this with every single element that I have here. Actually, we don't need to do that. We can just create a few of them and then copy them. But okay, I'll keep going. Okay, if we look at the realistic view, now we see that there's a solid wall, but this is something a little bit more because I have wall here and I have a wall there. Okay, so there are two lines of walls. They are not opposite each other, and we leave like a gap between these two lines of walls. Why do they do that? I don't know, but this is how it is. And this is just a way to show you how to create walls that it's not just a solid wall, a Revit default wall that we have here, but using this massing and site option, we can create shapes that are different, and then we can assign any walls to that shape. Okay, so I think it's a cool, interesting way to do that. Anyway, so with a little patience, you have to do this and create straps of all these elements of this mass. When I'm done with this, I'm going to not delete, I'm going to select the mass and I'm going to hide it, hide in view, and this is what I get. So that's the kind of wall that those guys are designing here. And now we have to attach all these tiny walls to the roof, and we have to change the level of the starting level, because if you look at this, there's a, okay, so it doesn't start from the slab. It starts on level, probably level 2. The good thing is that now we can do it all at once. If I make this selection and I filter, I have structural framing and walls. Okay, so I want to select only the walls, then I have selected only that. I can change the base constraint. I can start at level 2, and now everything starts at level 2. And now I can attach to the top, and I can select the roof, and now all these elements will be attached to the roof. Okay, so I think that's the easiest way to do that. Probably I haven't turned all the, yeah, but that's the effect that they have. Okay, so they have this so that it filters the light, but you are not exposed to the light, you are always in shade. And that would be enough because in Revit gravity doesn't exist, but of course in real life we have to do something here. So probably there will be a structural element nailed to these solid columns of the truss, and at the same time all those straps will be nailed to the solid element. How can we do that? On level 1, we have this, and we can create what's the distance between these two elements. Oh, because that was 6 inches, but this is half. Okay, so there will be 5 inches, I think. 5.5 inches. Okay, good. So it's 5.5 inches between this and that. I can always create a structural beam, and that beam, if I edit type and I make it 15 by 5.5, okay, this dimension is 5.5 inches, and that dimension can be 2. It's too much. Let's make it 1 foot. And now if I this is the pin that I want to do, this 15 by 1.5, and I can snap here. So I can snap in the wall, but I can't snap in the mass. Interesting. Let me see if I can create a model line just as a reference. Yeah, with a model line it works. And now I can start the structural beam here on that line, and I can go all the way here. And where is it? Because it was on level 1. So I have to edit work plane because I think it's on level, it should be on level 2. There you go. Okay, so now we have something solid, or yeah, I think I can move it. I think it's between this table and that table, or that strap. And now I think I can move it up. Remove constraint, this join, and then I can move it up. There you go. Yeah, so this is where this beam should be. Okay, so this beam is nailed to that structural element, to the truss, and then all these straps are nailed here to that beam. And there, we should have something similar probably at this level. I don't know if they have, if we can tell. Yeah, we can do that. Right. We can tell that there's a structural element here. You see that horizontal line, and probably there is another one over there. I can't tell, but yeah. Or maybe the other horizontal element is there at the top. Anyway, things don't float, okay, in the real world. They do in Revit, but not in the real world. So we always need something structural, and if we use wood, everything is nailed to each other. So this is the main truss. That element is nailed to the truss, and those straps are nailed to this horizontal element. Okay, so this is kind of what we have. Probably I didn't do all the straps, but that's the idea. Okay. Oh, I didn't connect all these. I didn't change. If I filter and I just select the walls, I can start level 2 and I can attach this to the top, to the roof. Okay, what's the idea behind this? Having like a nice dining area Here I'm going to hide the, yeah, that's it. And if we are lucky and we have like a nice sun settings, and we cast the shadows. Okay, so now the sun is coming from the other side. Okay, so there will be a way in which we will have sun coming from this direction, and there will be a nice effect of lights and shade because of this wall that I have created here. But we will do that for the presentation, and now we are modeling, and that's the, yeah. So this is what we have to do today. What else? Oh, the walls. If we go to level one, I'm going to activate again or unhide the picture. And where are the walls? We have a wall. What kind of wall do we have? Well, I'm going to edit type and I'm going to create to duplicate and I'm going to create this Chaserrugg wall and that it will be made of. We can have this softwood lumber half inch, that's fine. I'm going to insert three different materials. I'm going to move and then that's that element. This is not the, this is a finish. That's another finish. And that would be the same softwood lumber here, a half inch. And what we have here is a thermal insulation. I'm going to use rigid insulation and this can be 6 inches, 6 or 10, make it 10 for the sake of energy efficiency. So where do I get this? If you look at this is a very efficient solution. Okay, so for these wooden constructions, we have two sheets of wood, any wood, and then we have a core of thermal insulating material. So that's the best way to create roofs or walls like this one. Okay, so and then we have these two panels can be connected like that so that we don't have the thermal breach. Okay, so I think this is the most efficient panel that we can use for this kind of structure. We have the wooden structure, we have the beams, the beam systems, we have the columns. But if we want to create walls or roofs, the material can be like that, and then the finish can be. This is always B. Usually we don't expose this kind of thing. If it's exposed, we have a better wood like that. Anyway, so this is the kind of material that we're going to use for the roof and for the walls. And that's what I made here. If you go to this wall, it's made of softwood, half inch. And then we have a core of rigid insulation, can be 6 inches, 8 inches, 10, 12. It depends on the weather conditions and the thermal properties that we want for that wood. This is quite cold, so I'm going to use a 10-inch thermal insulation panel. And now, once we have this wall, uh, what I'm going to do is to place that wall not here, but okay, let me do it, and then I explain you what to do. In this case, we can line this with the axis, okay? If we want to expose this truss, and I think it's nice, in the original drawing, the truss is not exposed, okay? But so it's covered by the wall. But I think it's, I was saying that I want to, okay, so I don't like this wall because this wall is in conflict with the columns. So I'm going to use the align tool and I'm going to line up the interior face of the wall with the exterior face of the column. So that will be better. So that's the wall, and here it's the other way around. I want to create the wall here, and I can go up to this point, and then here. Okay, so here we don't have the truss, we just have a wall, and then I continue this way, and I'm going to make this like that, and now I have to line up things. I want to line up this interior face of the wall with the exterior face of that. Here, I don't know how you have, if you have columns, you can have columns here in the middle of the wall, or you can hide the columns with the wall. I don't know. I don't have columns here, but if you do, you have to figure out how to do it. I don't mind. I only want it to look nice. And now I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is my option. I want to see the trusses here in the original drawing or in the original project, sorry. We don't have, yeah, there you go. We don't have a truss here, but I think it looks nicer if we show the truss. And here we have this solid wall and we have this terrace with this kind of this screen that we created with the straps. Now we have to connect the walls to the roof. Okay, so I have to pick all the walls and just attaching this to the roof. Okay, and you have to do the same all around the building. But there is something that I don't know if you have ever experienced how to create a tilted wall because that wall is not straight. It is, let me see, we have another view of that. Yep, so you see that that wall is not vertical, so it's still up. How can we do that? There are different ways. We can use a massing, we can create this mass and then apply a wall to that face of the mass. But there is an option in Revit. We can, if we go to the section, where's the section? Okay, in the section, we have, well, we can move this, that this is the grid line that I created. So now I don't have to abide by this. This is my grid line and I place the wall on the grid line. But if I want to go up to this place, you see that here in cross section, we have vertical, but if we select slanted, now we can control here the angle. I can try, I can do it like that, okay? And this is 13, I don't like 13. So 12 is better. Okay, so now I think it follows this. And if I want to attach it to the roof, I can select the wall, attach to the top, and select the roof. And now on the 3D view, we have the slanted wall. And if you keep working with this and attach everything to the roof, There you go. Okay, so that's the way to create slanted. But it's slanted and it has this shape for this train. Okay, so can we do that with the wall? Yes, we can. If we go to edit profile, if we edit this profile, we can. I'm going to make it up, but you can have any shape here. You can insert a curve, and then we can move it down. Okay, I have this shape. I don't know if it's the no, it's not the shape. It's the other way around. The curve is there. It's not there. Anyway, uh, and but it has to be a closed loop. So we have to use this element split. If I do this, I break this line into two different parts, and then I can trim this and that. Okay. Before doing that, I think it would be better if I select all these. If I select mirror, I click on the midpoint, and yeah, now I have the same shape there. Now I can split the element here and there, and I can trim. And then I finish, and I have this shape. Okay, as I told you, it's not this one, but okay, that's fine. I just wanted to show you how to create the slanted wall. And if you have windows, this is not a window, it's an opening because there is no glass here because the train has to go in and out. So there is not a window. But if you want to create an opening that it's not a rectangle, you can do it using this edit profile in the wall. What else? Oh, the windows. You see that in this, we have windows here. So those windows are between the columns. So on level one, we have here these booths and we have windows. What is the size of this window? I don't know. We can try to measure. If I go from this line to this line, it's 4 feet and 6 inches. Okay, so I can select the window, the fixed window, edit type, and I'm going to duplicate, and this is 4 feet and 6 inches. Uh, let's say 4 and 6 by 4 and 6. You can do the math and figure out how many inches we have here. So the height would be 4 and 6 inches, and the width would be 4 and 6 inches. Okay, and now we can insert the window there. When we insert windows, it's always better to take a look at it to see if it's in the right position. Yeah, apparently it's in the right position. That depends on the seal. The seal height is 3 inches. I think 3 inches is good for this kind of restaurant. And now you can select this one and you can copy all the windows there. Okay, so you can copy as many windows as we have on this side and the other side. And we do have windows here in the front facade because So far, we only have the structure, but we do have windows. So what can we do? Oh, and we do have windows there. Okay, we have these large windows there. Uh, okay, yeah. So let's do these windows first. In Revit, if you want to insert windows, you know that we need a host, so we need a wall. Okay, so we have the structural elements, but here we can't insert the windows. So we need a wall. We can extend that wall, the wall that we made, this basic wall, all the way here. Okay, now I can trim this and this, and I can trim this and that. Now I can line up this here, and that actually it's good because here we have the thermal insulation. The column doesn't have any thermal insulation, so we don't have a thermal breach. We will talk about this in 260, what a thermal breach is and how to fix it, but this is the right option to do that. And now we have to create a window that fits in this between these two columns. What is the distance now between the two columns? This is 7 and 4. Okay, and what is the height? I don't know. I have to go to the section and the height. Oh, by the way, I have to attach this wall to the roof again. And now I have this height from this beam to the floor. So annotate, aligned, and that is 10. Okay, so it's 10 and 7 and 4, I think. So architecture, window, edit type. This is duplicate, duplicate. 7 and 4 by 10. Okay, the height is 10 feet. The width is 7 and 4. And the seal, the default seal height, I want it to be 0 because I want it to go from the floor to the ceiling. So I'm going to type 0 here. And now I go to level 1, see what happens. I can insert the window there. And now it's very important that the window is lined up with the column. I think now it's confusing. I'm going to hide this thing again and line up this and this, and now it should be perfect. In the section, and not the section, let me see the 3D view. Yep, apparently it works because it goes from the floor. I don't have the floor, but it goes all the way up to the beam. Okay, so I have these beautiful windows. Is this the right size? Well, probably it's not because here we have like a bench. Um, okay, I don't mind. In the real building, there's a bench here, so probably the window is 3 feet. So it's not 10 feet, is 7 because this would be like 3 feet. Yeah, so when the default seal is 3 feet, it's because it's a very convenient measurement because we can have a bench or we can have a table. So yeah, so the window will start at the end of the bench or at the end of the table, and then it could go up. I don't mind. This is up to you. So if you want to create the bench there, fine. If not, there is something. Okay, so here we had the doors because this is the entrance to the building. How can we do that? We can create like three windows, or but now I need to know the distance between these two columns. This is 13 and 9. How can we do that? Is there a door that it's not horrendous here? Okay, that's the only one that we have. Do we have a door that is just something made of glass with a very thin frame? Let me try to insert load family, and I want to see the doors. This is for curtain walls, so I don't think this is exterior double, but it's not. Well, I think this is the least ugly. Let's load this one, see what happens. Here we have a lot of measurements. Let's select the first one, and now I'm going to edit that door. The seal height is 0. The edit type, I don't remember the measurement. 13 and 9. Okay. Picture door edit type. So the width is 13 and 9, and the height it was 10. I should have duplicated it, but anyway. So now I can place it here, and I can line up this and that. Yep, that will look good. Okay, so we have windows, and then we have a door. So those windows are fixed. You cannot open them. But the door, in this case, it's a sliding door. Okay, that's fine. Where do we have doors? Here between these two grid lines, we have doors, and the rest of the between the rest of the columns, we have window. Okay, so we have a nice elevation, and that elevation is nice just because we have a lot of elements that are repeated, same distance. It's not uniform because every now and then we open a door and the door has a different dimension, so we break the uniformity of this pattern. Okay, but yeah, it looks nice. What about this? What do we do with this? Um, so we have this. We created these columns here, and those columns can be attached. Columns they can be attached to the roof. Okay. And what can I do now? I don't think we can design a window with this shape. Okay. But I don't know I don't know how to do it. We have to change the family. In changing the family, it's a mess because it's too much for this course. What we can do easily is to uh, edit the profile of this wall, and we can select these elements. Okay, so if I just do this, and then I keep going, I have the second window is here, and the third window lines there. Okay, so now I have the three windows. If I do this, it won't work because I need to trim this. Okay, so I can create like a line here, another line there, and another line there. And now I can trim the highlighted lines currently intersects. Yes. Okay. So I have created this. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, so you see what happens here. I have created this roof. The wall goes from level one to level two, but then I attached to the top. But this window, it goes beyond that thing. Mm, so probably I have to do that before connecting this to the roof. I have to create the windows because otherwise, and if that window is taller, if I edit the profile, if I do this, if I remove constraints and I create this window, okay, now it works. This is not attached to the roof yet. Let me go to level 3. It will go to level 3. I think I can make this shape there. Go to create this one, and that one. A bit. Going to move it down so that I don't surpass that. Okay, that works. Now, can I attach this to the roof?